Hanya's voice trembled as she whispered, "I thought you were different, Marcus. But now I see you're just like everyone else." A mix of anger and disbelief twisted Marcus's expression. "What the hell are you talking about, Anya? I've given you everything." Anya stood her ground, the weight of years of frustration finally spilling out. "Everything? You've taken everything from me." The kitchen, once a symbol of pride, now felt like a prison, its beauty only highlighting the suffocating emptiness she felt. Marcus, with his expensive suit and flawless appearance, seemed out of place, his polished exterior clashing with the hollow feelings inside her. "You ungrateful," he began, but Anya interrupted him. "No, I'm done staying quiet." Though her hands trembled, her voice grew firmer. "I'm done pretending this is the life I ever wanted." Marcus's eyes narrowed, a warning in his tone. "Be careful, Anya. Don't forget who foots the bills here." Anya's laugh was sharp and bitter. "Oh, I haven't forgotten. You make sure to remind me every single day." Her voice softened, but the truth lingered. "My name is Anya, and this is the moment I realized my so-called fairy tale marriage was nothing more than a perfectly crafted lie." It hadn't always been like this. When Anya first met Marcus at a charity gala 5 years ago, he had swept her off her feet. Charismatic, successful, and thoughtful, he seemed like the answer to all her dreams. Their whirlwind romance quickly turned into a wedding, and before long, she was walking down the aisle. "You'll never want for anything," Marcus had promised on their wedding night. "I'll take care of everything." And he did. His version of it anyway. The house, the cars, the vacations, everything that looked perfect on the outside. But over time, Anya began to realize there were strings attached to every gift. "Anya, darling," Marcus's voice dripped with condescension, pulling her back to reality. "Let's not make a scene. You have a wonderful life here." Anya looked around the kitchen, her perception shifting. The high-end appliances she was expected to use to prepare his elaborate meals, the pristine countertops she spent hours perfecting to meet his exacting standards. "A wonderful life," she echoed bitterly. "Is that what you call this? Being your personal maid and cook?" Marcus's jaw tightened. "I work hard to provide for this family. The least you could do is show some appreciation." The word family stung. They had no children of their own, but Marcus's son from his previous marriage, Caleb, lived with them. Once a respectful teenager, he now mirrored his father's contempt for Anya. Just then, Caleb entered the kitchen, sauntering in like he owned the place. "What's going on? Why are you yelling at Dad?" Anya stared at the ATM screen in disbelief. Insufficient funds. How is that possible? She just deposited her birthday check from Mom last week. "Is there a problem, ma'am?" The bank teller's voice startled Anya. She forced a smile. "No, just checking my balance, thank you." As Anya walked out of the bank, her mind raced. Marcus must have transferred the money without telling her, again. The realization hit her like a punch to the gut. She was trapped, not just emotionally but financially too. Anya looked at him, hoping for a hint of support, but his cold stare told her she was alone in this. "Nothing, son," Marcus said smoothly. "Anya's just having one of her moments." Caleb snorted. "Maybe if she actually did something with her life instead of spending your money, she wouldn't be so miserable." The casual cruelty in his voice was the final straw. Anya grabbed her purse from the counter and headed for the door. "Where do you think you're going?" Marcus demanded. Anya paused, her hand on the doorknob. "Out! I need some air." "Don't be ridiculous," Marcus scoffed. "Dinner needs to be ready by 7. We have guests coming, remember?" For a moment, Anya almost gave in. The urge to apologize, to fall back into the familiar pattern of obedience, was overwhelming. But something inside her had shifted, a spark of defiance she thought long extinguished. "Make your own damn dinner," Anya said, and walked out the door. Back at home, Anya found Marcus in his study, engrossed in paperwork. "Marcus, did you move money from our joint account?" She tried to keep her voice steady. He barely looked up. I had some business expenses. Why? I couldn't withdraw any cash today. I thought we agreed. Anya, Marcus cut her off. You know I handle the finances. You don't need to worry about it. But it's our money, Anya protested. I should at least know. Our money? Marcus's laugh was cold. I earn it, Anya. You spend it. Let's not pretend otherwise. The casual cruelty of his words left her speechless. Anya retreated to the kitchen, her sanctuary turned prison, and mechanically began preparing dinner. Caleb sauntered in, phone in hand. Hey, Anya, what's for dinner? Chicken parmesan, Anya replied, grateful for the distraction. Cool. Oh, by the way, I need $500 for a new gaming console. Anya hesitated. Caleb, I'm not sure if... Come on, he interrupted. It's not like you guys can't afford it. Dad always says you're just the housewife, so what else are you going to spend money on? The knife Anya was holding clattered loudly onto the counter. What did you just say? She demanded. Caleb rolled his eyes dismissively. Chill out. I'm just saying it's not like you contribute anything else. Anya felt a surge of fury. Get out of my kitchen. Now. Whatever, Caleb muttered, shuffling out of the room with an arrogant slouch. That evening, during a tense dinner where Marcus lavished praise on Caleb for his latest school accomplishment while completely ignoring her, Anya lay awake long into the night staring at the ceiling. How had she allowed herself to become so alone, so dependent? The next morning, while Marcus was at work and Caleb was at school, Anya made a choice. She retrieved her old laptop with trembling hands and began to set up a blog. The Invisible Wife, she named it. She poured her heart into her writing, releasing the years of pent-up frustration and pain. The words flowed effortlessly, a cathartic release of everything she'd kept buried for so long. I used to dream of Prince Charming, Anya typed. Instead, I got a master in a prison of luxury. Hours passed as she wrote, one post after another, detailing the financial control, emotional manipulation, and the gradual loss of her sense of self. Each time she clicked publish, a small flicker of something unfamiliar stirred inside her. Hope. That evening, as she served dinner, Marcus eyed her with suspicion. You seem different today. Anya shrugged, maintaining a neutral expression. Just a good day, I guess. Caleb scoffed. Yeah, right. What could possibly be good about your day? It's not like you do anything. Anya held her tongue, the secret of her blog simmering just beneath the surface. Let them think she was useless. She knew better now. Later, as Marcus and Caleb sat watching TV, Anya quietly returned to her laptop. To her astonishment, her blog already had comments. Women were sharing their own stories, offering solidarity and understanding. You're not alone, one commenter wrote. Stay strong. Anya felt tears welling in her eyes as she read message after message. For the first time in years, she didn't feel invisible. She felt seen, heard, and validated. As she closed the laptop, a new sense of determination settled within her. This blog was more than just an outlet. It was a lifeline. A first step toward reclaiming her identity and her independence. Anya glanced toward the living room, where Marcus and Caleb's laughter echoed. They had no idea what she had begun, and for now, that was exactly how she wanted it. The soft glow of her laptop screen illuminated the dark kitchen as Anya typed furiously, adding another post to her growing collection. 3 months had passed since she'd started The Invisible Wife, and the response had been overwhelming. You've given me the courage to speak up, read a comment from user HopefulHeart23. I'm not alone anymore. Tears pricked Anya's eyes as she scrolled through similar messages. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard, ready to reply when she heard footsteps approaching. She slammed the laptop shut just as Marcus entered the kitchen. What are you doing up so late? He asked, suspicion lacing his voice. Couldn't sleep, Anya lied smoothly. Just catching up on some reading. Marcus grunted, clearly uninterested. Well, don't forget we have the Davieses coming for dinner tomorrow. I expect everything to be perfect. As he retreated upstairs, Anya let out a shaky breath. The constant fear of discovery was exhausting, but the sense of purpose her blog gave her was worth the risk. The next morning, as Anya prepared for the dinner party, her phone buzzed with a notification. Her latest post had gone viral, shared thousands of times across social media platforms. "Anya!" Marcus's sharp voice cut through her excitement. "Where's my blue tie?" "The one I told you to have dry cleaned?" Anya bit back a retort. "It's hanging in your closet, Marcus, right where I put it yesterday." He muttered something under his breath and stomped off. Anya turned back to her phone, heart racing as she saw an email from a popular women's magazine. They wanted to interview her about her blog. The dinner party that evening was a blur of forced smiles and polite conversation. As Anya served dessert, Mrs. Davies turned to her. "So, Anya, what do you do with your time? Any hobbies?" Before she could answer, Marcus chuckled. "Oh, Anya's content being a homemaker, aren't you, dear?" Anya felt a surge of defiance. "Actually," she said, meeting Mrs. Davies's eyes, "I've recently started writing. It's been quite fulfilling." Marcus's fork clattered against his plate. "Writing? What on earth about?" "Just life experiences," Anya said vaguely, heart pounding. "Nothing you'd find interesting, I'm sure." Later that night, after their guests had left and Marcus had retired to his study, Anya snuck back to her laptop. The magazine wanted to do the interview tomorrow. She typed out a quick acceptance, hands shaking with a mix of fear and exhilaration. The next day, Anya made an excuse about running errands and met the journalist at a small cafe across town. Chloe, the interviewer, was warm and encouraging. "Your blog has resonated with so many women," she said. "How does it feel to have such an impact?" Anya took a deep breath. "Honestly, it's terrifying and empowering all at once. For years I felt invisible, voiceless. Now, I'm part of a community. We're supporting each other, sharing our stories. It's liberating." As the interview continued, Anya felt the weight of years of silence and frustration slowly lifting off her shoulders. For the first time in ages, she wasn't just being seen as Marcus's wife or Caleb's stepmother. She was Anya, a woman with her own thoughts, dreams, and identity. "One last question," Chloe said as they wrapped up the interview. "What's next for the invisible wife?" Anya paused for a moment, reflecting on her journey. "I'm not entirely sure, but I know I can't go back to being silent. This blog, this community, it's given me a purpose I didn't even know I was missing." As Anya drove home, her thoughts raced. The upcoming magazine feature would bring even more attention to her blog. More women would discover their voices, and maybe, just maybe, she would find the strength to make meaningful changes in her own life. When she pulled into the driveway, Anya steeled herself to face Marcus and Caleb. But this time there was no dread about entering her own home. Instead, she felt a glimmer of hope. The seeds of resilience had been planted, and they were beginning to bloom. The Thompson family's annual barbecue was in full swing. The backyard buzzed with laughter, and the scent of grilled meat filled the air. Anya forced a smile, playing the part of the perfect hostess, while anxiety twisted in her stomach. "Anya, darling." Marcus's sister's shrill voice broke through the chatter. "Where's that potato salad you promised?" Anya quickly retreated to the kitchen, grateful for the brief escape. As she opened the fridge to grab the bowl, she caught sight of her reflection in the window. The woman staring back at her seemed tired, defeated. She barely recognized her own face. "Need a hand?" Her mother, Vivian, appeared in the doorway, concern written across her face. "I'm fine, Mom," Anya lied, lifting the bowl. "Just a bit overwhelmed with all the guests." Vivian's eyes narrowed, but before she could press further, Marcus's voice thundered from the patio. "Anya, where's that damn salad?" Anya hurried out, nearly bumping into Caleb. He smirked, deliberately brushing past her and nudging her shoulder. The bowl wobbled in her hands, and a dollop of potato salad splattered onto her blouse. "Geez, Anya," Caleb sneered. "Can't you do anything right?" Anya bit her tongue, fighting back tears as she set the bowl on the table. Marcus glanced at her stained shirt, his lip curling in disgust. "For God's sake, Anya," he hissed. "Go change. You're embarrassing me." As Anya turned to leave, she caught her mother's eye. The pity in her gaze was almost unbearable. Inside, she leaned against the bathroom door, struggling to breathe. Her phone buzzed, another comment on her latest blog post. "You're stronger than you know it," it read. "Don't let them dim your light." Those words gave her the strength to change her shirt and return to the party. But as she stepped back outside, Anya walked into a conversation that stopped her cold. "I don't know how you do it, Marcus," Simon was saying. "Running a successful business and dealing with—" He gestured vaguely in Anya's direction. Marcus chuckled. "Oh, Anya." "She's harmless. Useless as a housewife, really. But she knows her place." The world seemed to tilt on its axis. Anya stood there frozen as the men laughed. Caleb joined in, eager for his father's approval. "Yeah, all she does is mope around the house and spend Dad's money," he added. "Total dead weight." Something snapped inside her. Years of pent-up frustration and anger bubbled to the surface. Before Anya knew what she was doing, she marched over to the group. "Is that what you really think of me, Marcus?" Her voice was surprisingly steady. "A useless housewife?" The laughter died abruptly. Marcus's face flushed with anger. "Anya, this is hardly the time or place." "No," Anya cut him off. "I think it's exactly the time and place. You want to talk about useless? How about a husband who belittles his wife at every turn or a stepson who shows zero respect?" Gasps rippled through the crowd. Caleb's mouth hung open in shock. "That's enough," Marcus growled, grabbing Anya's arm. "You're making a scene." Anya wrenched away from him. "No, Marcus, you've been making a scene for years. I'm just finally calling you out on it." With that, she turned and walked away, head held high. The party fell silent behind her. As Anya reached the house, she felt a gentle hand on her shoulder. It was Vivian, her eyes shining with a mix of pride and concern. "Oh, sweetheart," she whispered. "I've been waiting years for you to stand up to him. Come on, let's get out of here." Without a backward glance, Anya followed her mother to her car. As they pulled out of the driveway, leaving behind the stunned faces of the party guests, she felt a weight lift from her shoulders. "Where to?" Vivian asked softly. Anya took a deep breath, tasting freedom for the first time in years. "Anywhere but here, Mom. Anywhere but here." As they drove away, Anya knew there was no going back. The breaking point had come, and with it, the first step towards reclaiming her life. The musty scent of old papers filled the air as Anya sifted through the contents of her father's safe deposit box. Vivian stood beside her, her hand resting supportively on her shoulder. "I can't believe Dad never told me about this," Anya murmured, examining a thick envelope. "Your father always wanted to protect you, Anya," Vivian said softly. "He knew Marcus would try to control this too if he found out." Her hands trembled as Anya opened the envelope. Inside was a letter and several legal documents. As she read, her eyes widened in disbelief. "Mom," Anya whispered, "Dad left me everything. The beach house, his investments, even shares in his company. It's millions." Vivian squeezed her shoulder. "You deserve every penny, sweetheart. Now you can start fresh, on your own terms." As the reality of her inheritance sank in, a plan began to take shape in Anya's mind. This wasn't just financial freedom, it was a chance for justice. Back at Vivian's house, Anya paced the guest room, her thoughts spiraling. She could leave Marcus and start over, but there was more at stake now. A part of her, scarred by years of emotional abuse, wanted more than just to escape. She wanted Marcus to feel the same helplessness he had forced upon her for so long. Her laptop chimed with a new notification. Another comment on her blog. Your words gave me the strength to leave my abusive husband. Thank you for showing me I'm not alone. In that instant, everything clicked. She knew what she had to do. Over the next few days, Anya made careful plans. She consulted a lawyer to ensure that Marcus couldn't touch her inheritance. She reached out to a small publishing house that had shown interest in her blog, pitching the idea for a book. Most importantly, she began searching for a place of her own. Throughout it all, Marcus's increasingly desperate calls and messages went unanswered. Let him worry, she thought coldly. Let him experience what it's like to be ignored and dismissed. A week after the disastrous family barbecue, Anya returned home. Marcus was waiting, his face twisted with barely contained rage. Where the hell have you been? He demanded. Do you have any idea how embarrassing it's been trying to explain your little tantrum to everyone? Anya met his gaze without flinching. I've been making plans, Marcus. Plans that don't involve you. He scoffed. Plans? What plans could you possibly make without my money? You're nothing without me, Anya. Nothing. Anya's smile was steady, a calm settling over her. That's where you're wrong. I have my blog, which is becoming quite successful. I have a book deal in the works, and most importantly, I have my inheritance. Marcus's eyes narrowed. Inheritance? What inheritance? The one my father left me, Anya said, savoring the shock on his face. The one you knew nothing about. Turns out I'm worth quite a bit, Marcus, and you won't see a penny of it. He lunged forward, grabbing her arm. You can't do this to me, I made you who you are. Anya jerked her arm free. No, Marcus, you tried to destroy who I am, but I'm reclaiming myself, starting now. As she turned to leave, Caleb appeared in the doorway, his face a mix of confusion and anger. What's going on? He demanded. Dad, what's she talking about? Anya looked at her stepson, feeling a fleeting moment of pity. I'm sorry, Caleb. I tried to be a good stepmother, but you and your father made it clear I was never truly part of this family. Now I'm choosing myself. With that, she walked out, leaving behind a stunned Marcus and Caleb. As Anya drove away, a weight lifted from her shoulders. The road ahead was uncertain, but for the first time in years, she felt truly free. Her phone buzzed. Another blog comment. You're an inspiration, it read. Anya smiled, realizing that her journey wasn't just about her anymore. It was about all the invisible wives out there, waiting for their chance to shine. The secret plan was in motion, and this was just the beginning. The sleek office space hummed with energy as Anya surveyed her new empire. The Invisible Wife had transformed from a simple blog into a thriving lifestyle brand, empowering women across the globe. Her team bustled around her, preparing for their biggest product launch yet. Anya, we've got the final numbers for last quarter, Nadia announced, handing her a report. We've exceeded projections by 30%. Anya smiled, a surge of pride washing over her. Excellent work, everyone. Let's celebrate tonight. As the team cheered, her phone buzzed. Marcus's name flashed on the screen. She hesitated before answering. What is it, Marcus? Anya asked, her voice cool and professional. Anya, I need your help, he stammered, sounding uncharacteristically desperate. The company's in trouble. I've made some bad investments and you want me to bail you out? Anya finished, her tone sharp. Please, Anya. I know things ended badly between us, but you're right, Marcus. Anya cut him off. Things did end badly, and that's entirely on you. With that, she hung up, feeling a mix of satisfaction and a twinge of guilt. But she pushed the latter aside. She'd earned this success, and she wasn't about to let Marcus drag her down again. Later that evening, as they celebrated their company's success, her phone lit up with a news alert. Her heart skipped a beat as she read the headline. Thompson Industries faces bankruptcy amid fraud allegations. Anya excused herself and stepped outside, her mind reeling. Marcus's company, the source of his power and arrogance, was crumbling, and judging by his earlier call, he'd seen it coming. As she scrolled through the article, a familiar name caught her eye. Caleb Thompson, now working for his father's company, was implicated in the fraud scheme. Her stepson, it seemed, had followed too closely in his father's footsteps. The next morning, Anya arrived at the office to find a crowd of reporters waiting. News of her connection to Marcus had spread, and they were hungry for a statement. "Ms. Thompson!" one shouted. "Did you know about your ex-husband's fraudulent activities? How do you respond to allegations that your success is built on inside information from Thompson Industries?" Anya took a deep breath, straightening her shoulders. "I left my marriage to Marcus Thompson over a year ago. My company, The Invisible Wife, was built from the ground up, fueled by the stories and strength of women who refuse to be silenced. I have no connection to Thompson Industries or its current troubles." As Anya pushed past the reporters, her phone buzzed again. This time it was Caleb. "Anya, please," he begged, his voice cracking. "Dad's a mess. We need your help. You owe us that much at least." Anya felt a surge of anger. "I owe you nothing, Caleb. You and your father made that abundantly clear years ago." "But we're family," Caleb protested, his voice rising. "No, Caleb, we're not. Not anymore." Anya ended the call, her hands trembling with a mix of emotion. The empire Marcus had built on manipulation and control was crumbling, and a part of her felt vindicated by the justice of it all. But another part of her mourned the family she had once hoped they could become. Back in her office, Anya gazed out the window at the sprawling city skyline. Her own success now stood in sharp contrast to Marcus's downfall. She had risen from the wreckage of their toxic marriage, stronger, more determined, and more resilient than ever. A knock at the door broke her thoughts. It was Nadia, holding a new report in her hands. "Anya, you need to see this," she said, her tone serious. "It looks like the collapse of Thompson Industries might affect some of our suppliers. We need to act quickly to protect our interests." Anya nodded, pushing aside thoughts of Marcus and Caleb. She had her own empire to safeguard now, one built on empowerment, collaboration, and mutual respect, not manipulation and greed. As she shifted into crisis management mode, Anya couldn't help but smile to herself. The skills she'd developed during her time as the Invisible Wife, resilience, strategic thinking, adaptability, were now the very tools she used to steer her company through a turbulent storm. The day Marcus had dismissed her as a useless housewife felt like a distant memory. Today, as she guided her team through this crisis, she knew one thing for certain: she was far from useless. She was a force to be reckoned with, and this was only the beginning. A sharp knock on her office door pulled her from her thoughts. Before she could respond, it swung open, revealing Marcus and Caleb, their faces twisted with a mix of rage and desperation. "You've got some nerve, Anya!" Marcus snarled, storming towards her desk. Anya stood, her heart pounding, but her voice remained unwavering. "This is a private office. You need to leave." Caleb slammed his fist down on her desk. "Not until you give us what we're owed." "Oh?" Anya echoed, incredulous. "You're not owed anything." Marcus's eyes narrowed, his voice growing colder. "Don't play dumb, Anya. We know about your little windfall, your father's inheritance." Anya felt a chill run down her spine. How had they found out? "That money should be ours," Caleb spat. "We—" Anya laughed bitterly. "Family? Is that what you call it? Years of belittling me, treating me like a servant?" Marcus stepped closer, his voice low and menacing. "I made you who you are. Everything you have is because of me." Something snapped inside her. Years of pent-up frustration and anger came pouring out. "You made me?" Anya hissed. "No, Marcus. You tried to break me. But guess what? I rebuilt myself. This company, my success, it's all mine, and you can't touch it." Marcus's face reddened. "You ungrateful blank. After everything I've done for you." "Done for me." Anya cut him off. Let's talk about what you've done, Marcus. How about the years of emotional abuse, the financial control, or should we discuss the fraud allegations against Thompson Industries? Both men paled at that. That's right, Anya continued, her voice gaining strength. I know all about it, and unlike you, I built my company honestly, with my own talent and hard work. Caleb lunged forward, but Anya stood her ground. You're lying. You must have stolen inside information from Dad's company. Anya shook her head, almost pitying him. No, Caleb, I didn't need to steal anything. My success comes from understanding what women like me have gone through, the invisible wives, the silent sufferers. I gave them a voice, and they responded. Marcus's bravado crumbled. Anya, please. We're desperate. The company's gone. Our assets are frozen. We need help. For a moment, Anya saw a flicker of the man she'd once loved, but then she remembered all the times he dismissed her needs, her dreams. I'm sorry you're in trouble, she said, her voice firm. But that's not my problem anymore. You can't just abandon us, Caleb shouted. What about loyalty? Anya met his gaze steadily. Loyalty goes both ways, Caleb. You and your father made it clear long ago where your loyalties lie. Marcus's desperation turned to fury. You'll regret this, Anya. We'll tell everyone how you betrayed your family, how you— Enough! Anya slammed her hand on the desk, startling them both. You want to talk betrayal? How about the years you spent tearing down my self-esteem, the countless times you made me feel worthless? She took a deep breath, centering herself. I don't owe you anything, not my money, not my time, and certainly not my loyalty. Now get out of my office before I call security. For a tense moment, Anya thought they might refuse, but then, deflated and defeated, they turned to leave. At the door, Marcus paused. This isn't over, Anya. Anya met his gaze unflinchingly. Yes, Marcus, it is. As the door closed behind them, Anya sank into her chair, adrenaline still coursing through her veins. She'd done it. She'd stood up to them, refused to be manipulated or guilted. Her phone buzzed, a message from her mother. Everything okay, sweetheart? You seemed stressed earlier. Anya smiled, a rush of gratitude filling her heart for her mother's unwavering support. Everything's fine, Mom, she typed back, her fingers steady. In fact, it's better than ever. As she gazed out over the city skyline, a wave of peace washed over her. The confrontation with Marcus and Caleb hadn't just been about money or success. It had been the final step in reclaiming her power, her voice. She was no longer the invisible wife. She was Anya Thompson, CEO, and a fierce advocate for women everywhere. And this was only the beginning. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in warm shades of orange and pink. Anya stood on the balcony of her beachfront villa, the sound of waves gently lapping at the shore creating a soothing backdrop to her thoughts. Anya? Her mother's voice called from inside. Everything all right, sweetheart? Anya turned, smiling as Vivian joined her. Everything's perfect, Mom. I was just thinking about how far we've come. Vivian squeezed Anya's hand, her eyes misty with emotion. Your father would be so proud of you, honey, I know I am. The mention of her father brought a bittersweet pang to Anya's heart. His inheritance had been the catalyst for her new life, but it was her own strength that had carried her through. As they stood together watching the last rays of sunlight fade, Anya's phone buzzed again. A news alert caught her eye. Former CEO Marcus Thompson sentenced in fraud case. Vivian noticed the change in her daughter's expression. What is it? Anya showed her the article. Marcus is going to prison. Caleb, too. How do you feel about that? Vivian asked gently. Anya paused, taking a moment to reflect. Relieved, I suppose, but also sad for the family we could have been if things had been different. Vivian nodded in understanding. You can't change the past, Anya, but you've built an incredible future. Just as Anya nodded, her phone chimed once more. This time it was an email from her publishing team. Your book, The Invisible Wife No More, has hit the New York Times bestseller list. Tears of joy welled up in Anya's eyes as she showed her mother the news. Vivian pulled her into a tight hug, her voice full of pride. You did it, sweetheart. You really did it. Later that evening, as they sat around the dinner table with some of the women Anya'd met through her blog, now dear friends, she felt a sense of completeness she'd never experienced before. Beth, a former lawyer who'd left her abusive husband, raised her glass. To Anya, who gave us all the courage to reclaim our lives. As the others echoed the toast, Anya felt overwhelmed with gratitude. No, Anya said, her voice thick with emotion. To all of us, for supporting each other, for refusing to stay invisible. After dinner, as the others chatted and laughed, Anya slipped away to her study. She opened her laptop, navigating to the Invisible Wife blog, where it all began. Her cursor hovered over the new post button. Taking a deep breath, she began to type. Dear friends, when I started this blog, I was a shadow of myself, voiceless, powerless, invisible. Today, I stand before you as a best-selling author, a successful entrepreneur, and most importantly, a woman who has reclaimed her identity. But this journey wasn't just about me. It was about all of us. The invisible wives, the silent sufferers, the women who were told they were nothing without their husbands. Together, we've proven just how wrong that notion is. To those still trapped in the cycle of emotional abuse and control, there is hope. There is a way out. You are stronger than you know, and you are not alone. To those who have already broken free, your resilience inspires me every day. Keep shining your light, keep telling your stories. And to Marcus and Caleb, I hope you find the peace and understanding that eluded you in our family. Your actions have consequences, but your future is still unwritten. Choose wisely. As for me, this chapter of my life is coming to a close, but the story isn't over, it's just beginning. I can't wait to see what the next page holds, not just for me, but for all of us. With love and gratitude, Anya. As Anya clicked publish, she felt an overwhelming sense of closure. The invisible wife was gone, replaced by a woman who stood proudly in the light of her own achievements. She rejoined the gathering, her heart full, looking around at these strong, resilient women, her mother, her friends, her chosen family. She knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. The sweet taste of justice had now given way to something even more powerful. The joy of true independence and the strength of unbreakable bonds. This was her happily ever after, hard-won and on her own terms. And it was only the beginning.